knowing what hides in hay. Dude, do you remember when we were in the Pride Parade that time and you were in the bathtub on the float and we were all sitting on bales of hay with like overalls on? I got home and I found bugs in my pocket.
Oh gosh.
That had gotten out of the hay.
Oh yeah, anything that's in the hay when they start baling it sometimes kind of gets trapped in there or just hangs out in there because they've got food and whatever.
Right, exactly.
When I was a kid, they would bale our pasture, and I would sometimes, if there was some time between the time they baled it and the time the other people came to pick it up, because they'd usually leave it out there for like a couple of days so it could dry out a little bit, and I would make hay forts. And I mean, you know, the hay bales would all be about between 10 and 15 feet apart, depending on how tall the grass was whenever they baled it. You know, it just spits them out when it gets enough grass. And I would have to drag these together, and I would like be dragging them all different directions. And I'd get like 2 piled up, and then put one on the back and pile those up. And then I kind of like crisscross a third one. And now you're talking about like a 10-year-old kid who's picking up a bale of hay to put on top of 2 other bales of hay. And like the second bale is almost to my chest already, you know. It's like,
right,
how was I doing this? I mean, determination. So, but anyway, the whole point of that was one time I had grabbed a bale and was dragging it, and I did not realize that it was full of fire ants.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, and they were like crawling up on me and stinging me before I realized it. And of course I dropped it and it didn't become part of my fort, but then I'm having to deal with getting all these angry fire ants off of me.
Yeah.
Ugh. Good times.
I've studied, and this is probably not going to be in the episode. This is just conversation between me and you. So I'll save it as a side conversation because I have a couple of those from last season saved.
Oh.
So I've read and I know how AI modeling works. You know, when they say they train it with images from the internet, that's just a layman's way of explaining it to someone who doesn't understand how technology works. It's not actually what it does. It studies probability models of images. Pixel 0.0. What are the probability of that pixel being white when an image is of this? What is the probability of the next pixel being white if the image is of this? And then it does the same thing for every other possible color combination in the entire spectrum of hexadecimal color combinations. And it learns how to model images based on that. But there is some credence to the fact that it does learn internet trends. And that's case in point, you can see this guy's bulge.
A little, yeah.
And that's a trend that's happening on social media right now. Fitness blogs that are being posted all over like Instagram and Facebook. And really, it's just a tunnel to their OnlyFans because they're doing it to show off their bulge. I just thought that was interesting that it came up in an AI image. Something very similar to what I see all the time in like Facebook and Instagram reels.
Rewind back to the first image, but anyway.
Yeah, right? The first image was also, but the first image was like so over the top. That was like moose knuckle 80s, you know, leotard exercise guy, you know. It was a bit more over the top and blatant then. It's more subtle now.
Yeah. So tonight I'm drinking Capriccio. Watermelon sangria. Oh, so remember when there was the big Capriccio rage back in like 2020 and everybody was drinking Capriccio, or maybe it was like 2018. Anyway, it was back then. It's like that.
I've never heard of Capriccio in my whole life.
So it's a sangria, kind of a fruit wine that they made, and supposedly people were getting like super duper drunk on it, even though it's just like 8%. And there was like all these like viral videos about it and how good or bad people felt after they had it. Anyway, I bought it for I went drinking with my cousins after my aunt's funeral. And I brought it for that, but then we ended up not drinking it. So I thought, let's test it because I left it in the car for the day after the funeral in the heat, and I was worried that it would be bad, but it seems okay.
Okay. Well,
It's watermelon.
if I come over tomorrow and you're sick, I'll know what happened.
And I love
gross.
making casseroles. Like
I do too.
I mean, you can ask Patrick.
Yeah.
I can just kind of magically make a casserole.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
there
one
have
of
been
your.
times where I've decided I'm gonna make a casserole, and I'll like look in the pantry, and there's like nothing for a casserole, and then suddenly I'm like, oh wait, I can use that. Oh, I can use it. Oh, and then suddenly I've got a casserole, and we're like,
Yeah,
that was really good.
You're a master of casserole making.
Casseroles.
In fact, I actually channeled you because we had
no.
I had these things that. Okay, it's off topic. We're having a little off topic discussion here, so this will go in the side conversation save that I'll release at some point. But have you ever gotten the frozen cauliflower crusts?
No, but I mean, I'm aware of the concept. I don't actually know if I've seen that particular brand.
Okay.
Cauliflower.
Yeah, cauliflower. So it's all actually the name of the product is all about that base, and it's just. I know it's great. It's funny. It's just the crusts. So there's no toppings on them whatsoever. So what I like
are these
to do,
all like different types, like maybe gluten free and
it's cauliflower.
depending on
it's,
whatever.
It's made of cauliflower,
they're
so
always
it's
cauliflower.
yeah,
Okay.
it's very extremely low carb. So what I like to do is I get these cauliflower crusts, and they come two to a box. So I take both of them out and I let them sit for about 15 minutes on the counter, so that they mostly thaw out. They don't have to fully thaw out, just mostly thaw out. And then I have that purple casserole dish, and I take one of them and I kind of hold it over the dish, and I use the kitchen shears and I cut the edges off so that it's square and it fits right in the bottom. And then I do the same thing with the second one, and then I take all the ends and I cut them into small pieces. And I take a sauce, put it in the bottom of the pan, put the crust down in the bottom, put toppings like whatever I want to be in the casserole on top of that, more sauce, cheese if we want cheese, the second crust, more toppings, more sauce, cheese if we want cheese, and then all the little pieces, I sprinkle them all over the top, and then I cover it with foil and I bake it for 30 minutes, and then I take the foil off and bake it for another 20 minutes after it's done baking the first time to brown the top so they get crispy. And it's a low-carb casserole, and it's fucking delicious.
I've done some low carb casseroles, though I didn't go crazy like that. But I might have used low carb tortillas because that's one of my go-tos.
I've done that before too.
I've just made some casseroles that were just all like meat and okay, to eat in a casserole type vegetables when you're doing low carb.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've done pretty well. Like, wow, like this is like very, very meaty and maybe like onions and stuff. But
Did you bang your microphone?
It's fun. Yeah.
Okay. it was really, really loud bang for a second. Yeah, like that. Right. Yeah, most recent one I did, we had cooked that turkey breast that we bought for Christmas that we didn't use. We ended up refreezing it. I cooked the turkey breast not long ago, and then whatever we had left over, we chopped it up, and I took the leftover dregs, and I made a casserole with the leftover dregs, frozen mixed vegetable medley for like putting in soups and stuff, and cream of mushroom soup. So I basically made a turkey pot pie casserole.
Oh wow!
It was so good.
If people, if we do release this at some point, and people will like comment on my eyes because my eyes were like going back while you were talking. I was like inventing a new casserole in my head. I was thinking about get either fish sticks or like the fish more like the planky sized fish, but or maybe bites, and doing like a fried fish casserole type thing, and do like maybe some fried fish, like the like that baked fried fish or whatever, and then do some like crinkle cut French fries, and then do like a creamy like dill sauce that would be kind of like almost like a tartar, but like not quite as strong. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be really good.
We'll tell you about it later if I do it, and I probably will.
And then
now that I've thought it into existence.
The crust around the edges needs to be hush puppy.
That one. I can see.
The Long John Silver casserole
around the top.
Yeah, it's the Long John Silver casserole.
Ooh. All right. So we have been ragging on casseroles and casserole and cream ice cream for sure. But it's ghost. Sorry, but yeah, no, and it also kind of vaguely has this feel of like deviant art or like fan art.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. And it's very stylized. Like it's very consistently one like specific style, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way his face is shaped,
but
the way
you
his
know
ears
exactly
go.
who this
even
is.
though it's different, even though it's different than what we normally see as Link, I immediately knew it was Link, you know? Even if I didn't know the game really well, I would know that was Link. It's just part of culture, you know? It's like people who've never... Can you think of a single person that if I put a picture of Mario in front of, they wouldn't know who it was? Like a single person in the entire world.
You can think of multiple cultures where it would be popular.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's popular in South America. We know it's popular in Asia.
And
it's probably popular in parts of Europe, especially Italy.
Well, I mean, if you think about it this way, if you take a picture of Mario and put it in front of someone who has never played a Super Mario game, they would probably know who it is, even though they've never played the game before.
How many people would do like me and go, "It's me,
Mario." Right? Exactly. People, it's cultural phenomena like that kind of trip me out sometimes. You know, to think about that. The other one that always blows my mind is A Christmas Carol. Like Charles Dickens literally wrote that to put food on the table because his family was starving to death. He did it as a serial in the newspaper to make a quick buck, and it ended up becoming one of the most well-known, beloved stories that's ever been written.
It feels as if there is a new version of it every single year,
right? Because it's just it's one of those things.
Muppets, which is one of my favorites.
Oh, that is absolutely my favorite.
There's all these other takes on it, you know, and I think there's ones where it's a woman instead of a man, and I mean, you know, and
then they have like the
really
comedic. The comedic version is like Scrooged with Bill Murray. That's a really great version. I like that one. But yeah, it's a cultural phenomena. You know, those things happen every now and then. It's like catching lightning in a bottle. It's weird how that something simple that just somebody created and put out there. I guess that's like
of their own. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's like I guess the organic going viral, the non-digital going viral. Although going viral digitally does help with that kind of stuff. But I mean, back in the days of Charles Dickens, that was just a serial printed in the newspaper, and somehow it became a worldwide phenomenon.
Turned into plays, and there were probably radio dramatizations of it every year.
I'm sure there are. Yeah. So, anyway, there you go. Just weird little bits of history.
As if this recipe wasn't bad enough, you know, when we're eating ears of anything, much less rat dogs.
Right.
And that umbrellas need to be removed from them, and then you got some weird process that involves insinuating garlic. Now we've really gone off the rails, though.
Yeah, it's basically like fed it like some of the funnier lines and said, you know, write the lyrics, but like mention this and mention this. You know, that Elvis gargled in Vegas. That was kind of a funny thing. You know, mention that. Mention that they found music at a wobbly age. You know, I didn't like write the lyrics that just told it like what to mention, and it came up with that, and some of it's really, really funny.
I know, I do that sometimes too, and I get some really great lyrics, like the "I Just Ate Poo" song, or "Did I Just Eat Poo?" I was sitting here like, why isn't this a song? Did I just eat poo? Like, you know, like, so this you've eaten something before, and you're like, what did I just eat?
You know the camera's rolling, right?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Captured for posterity. We're talking about Brent's song. Did I just
Well, now I have
poo?
to put it on TikTok, so... what Terry has a book, and it's like biology from like extant or, you know, other planets, like reimagining how things would have evolved and what similarities or differences, like convergent evolution type things would have appeared. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting. There was a show about that one time that I watched that they posited the idea that by the end or by like another like 100 or so years, we will have lost our pinky fingers because they're not necessary anymore because we barely use them. We will have lost our last
100 seems really quick. I mean,
well, Yeah, I'm just making numbers up, but
Yeah.
they said like
Oh.
through our evolution in the future, we will lose our pinky fingers. We will probably lose the last 2 toes, the pinky toe and the one right before it, because they're not used at all either. All we really use is our big toe and our second toe to keep balance.
And they would just probably get wider.
They would
then?
just probably just get wider a little bit, yeah, but not much. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting because I never really thought about that, but it's true. You know, I don't really use my pinky for anything. It's not strong enough to do anything on its own, and I don't use the only thing my outer toes are good for is getting stuck on stuff and hurting themselves.
Yes. Breaking. Yeah. Okay. Stick on my head. Wrap my little scarf around myself. See if I can cover Godzilla up a little bit.
You're gonna need a lot of cloth to cover Godzilla up. He's a big boy.
There you go. I'm back. But I'm not going to say that, but the detective arrives and then here I am. I mean, I did have two different magnifying glasses growing up. So
Yeah, I had magnifying glass. I had a microscope at one point.
not magnifying glass, sorry, microscopes. Two
okay.
microscopes. And one of them was super cool because it had this attachment that I could put on top, and you'd slide this little thing in it, and you could point it at the wall, and you could kind of see.
Oh my god, I had the
view
same
of-
one. I had the same one.
Was it red?
No, mine was green. But
Mine was red, but
Yeah.
oh well, yeah.
yeah, it had the little thing you
That's
slid
awesome.
underneath the slide, and it was a light, and it would project it through the microscope onto the wall like a projector. Yes, and you couldn't really ever
Yeah.
see anything when you did that. It was very hazy because you couldn't
But
focus
I mean,
it.
it was still a cool concept.
Yeah, it was a cool idea.
I mean, I guess if you were looking at different types of things, but yeah.
Did yours
we
come with
weren't
a
nerds
B-wing?
at all.
Did yours come with a B-wing?
Oh, like an actual B-wing that you could look at.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I want to
'cause
say it would come with like brine shrimp
Oh, see,
and
mine didn't come with anything like that. Mine came with blank slides, or not blank slides, but like
yes,
glass panels,
Yeah,
slides with nothing, and covers.
and then the
The
covers.
little plastic covers. So I had a bunch of slides with covers, and then they had one slide that was pre-made that was like glued together, so you couldn't like pull it apart, and it had a B-wing inside of it. So you started, it was your little starter. You could put it in there, you could look at the B-wing,
Yeah.
but everything else you had to do yourself.
I don't. Maybe I did have that, and I just never looked because I was whatever. But I mean, I would spit on it.
Yeah, I spit on mine just to
Hair
see the
under
stuff.
it.
Hair. I looked at hair. I also got grass. I went grass from outside, and I looked at grass under the microscope. I remember doing
that'd be
that.
cool.
Yeah,
Dirt would be fun too.
Dirt.
We
A
never thought
carpet.
of that.
Carpet. I had a piece of carpet that I
Oh.
looked at. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we got a Mad Lib to do.
I want a microscope again.
All right, turn your bedroom into a secret lab.
It's poisonous. It's not like I'm gonna kill you right now, but yeah, you better get an antidote. There's one. I was watching this program the other day about poisonous mushrooms, and there was one of them. You would have to eat like 9 kilograms of it before it starts to become lethal. And I'm like,
That's not really poisonous then.
that's
I mean,
a lot.
You can die from drinking coffee before. Drinking like less than that amount of coffee would probably kill you.
Apparently, there's I think it's called the false morel, and it's really popular in like Lithuania or the Ukraine, but somewhere in part of the old Soviet Union, and it could have a cumulative effect. So it was very popular, and people could eat it day after day after day. And if you did eat a large enough quantity of it over a period of time, it could also kind of have the negative effects on you.
Interesting.
So I was like, wow, yeah, it was pretty interesting. It's one of the YouTube shows we always watch called The SciShow. It's just weird.
And then
Where'd they buy that?
the black plate in the back that's on the other side of the bread salt and pepper shaker with eyes and rosy cheeks.
On the black?
Yeah, so see, there's
I mean,
there's
I
two
see a
black
white
platters.
platter.
There's a black platter in the front, and there's a black platter in the back. And there's what seems like some sort of casserole, but also kind of looks like a McRib in the first one. And then this,
and mashed potatoes, maybe.
yeah, possibly mashed potatoes with lines of ketchup on them, which is gross.
Yeah.
And then some sort of roast meat. It kind of pork belly, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Okay. You know what that other one is? This is we're gonna call it a shepherd's meatloaf.
Okay.
They've done a meatloaf, but base with a potato topper and then a barbecue sauce gravy.
You know what? I kind of want to try that now.
I know, I do.
And then the one, so the black platter behind that, they look like hot dogs.
Yes, to me it looks like chili dogs.
Yes,
and my mom
chili
used
dogs.
to make her chili dogs like that, except for they were neater. So basically, what she would do is she would put the wieners inside the buns, and then put all the buns in a row, and bake them in the oven for like a certain amount of time till I guess the hot dogs started lumping and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then she would put chili and cheese on top of it, and then bake it for a few more minutes. Or
Okay,
like 15
so
or whatever.
I do hot dogs very similarly. I actually do the dogs in a pan first with water, and then once the dogs are heated all the way through, I drain the water out of the pan, put them back on the heat, and roll them around on the hot pan to get the outside kind of crispy. And then I'll put them in the buns and put chili on them that I just heat up in the microwave, and then cheese on top, and then I put the whole plate with the buns and hot dogs and chili and cheese in the oven for like 15 minutes. That's how I do chili dogs.
So it's close.
Yeah. And they come out looking quite like that. So
I picked up a trick from Rachel Ray. She did an episode a gazillion years ago, and she made these things called devil dogs. Mm-hmm. And it was basically, just wieners but she sauteed them in a skillet, and then she added I think she maybe added what's that guy's name? The buffalo sauce. Frank's
maybe hot sauce.
Maybe Frank's hot sauce. But anyway, I think it was a name brand, or it could have been one that she had made on her own. And if you concocted it right there, Rachel, it's been a long time. But so I've done that with hot dogs where I cook them all in the skillet, but it's just, and they start to get plump and they'll start to split, sort of like when you cook them in the microwave. But
and then
also, what's up with the Mr. Bread there?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the first thing that caught my eye, and at first I thought it was bread, but then it's like, no, that looks like something that's made to look like bread, but it looks like a salt and pepper shaker.
Oh, well, I was thinking it's like bread. You know how we used to do this all the time when I was younger, and now as an adult, I think, why did we do this? Why? And you see it at barbecue places to this day. There's always this stack of white bread at the end of the table.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, what are we using this for? I guess maybe you're folding food into it, but
yeah,
it always seems so weird.
Sopping up sauce.
Even as a kid, I really didn't like white bread.
Oh.
I was always.
That never bothered me.
We started eating wheat bread probably when I was 7 or 8, and I was just I like it so much better.
So as far as other things on the table, very back looks like cloves of garlic in a ramekin that maybe have been roasted.
Ew.
Then next to that is a planter full of pastries, which is weird. Why?
Oh,
why put it in a flower pot? Yeah, it's like a
those
flower
could
pot.
be Brussels sprouts too.
Yeah, well, I was thinking cloves of garlic, but then next to that, that's clearly a flower pot that has pastries in it, and then chicken. Or chicken, and then that looks like a dessert, like a cake, some kind of cake, and then there's a jar of jam,
then a jar of jelly,
some sort of jar of jam,
over here.
and then in that corner it looks like pickled vegetables. Like cauliflower and carrots. Yeah, like sliced cauliflower, sliced carrots.
Okay, I'm glad you thought of cauliflower because it was kind of grossing me out. I feel much better now. But I like that also the background, it looks like a
picnic, like a potluck.
I don't know what that gray thing is. I can't tell if it's suspended off of something on the table or on the ground.
It looks like it's I picture it drove into the ground and it's like a light or maybe a bug zapper.
Okay. Yeah, maybe so. Oh, but we've just got to get started. And
right, let's go.
We have gone from the candy is shining to whoa.
N-word themes.
I'm like a cow in deer lights. I mean,
cow and deer lights. What?
Deer in headlights. Cow and deer lights. Wow,
So, okay. So I discovered something over the weekend, and I have to tell you about it while I'm getting this set up. I, on a whim, bought the game High on Life to play on my PS5 over the weekend. And it's done by the guy that made Rick and Morty. So it's that style of humor. So there's a spot. Wheel, is that it? Yes. There's a spot where you have to. There's a spot where you can teleport things in, and you have like different discs that you find throughout the game where you can teleport things in. And they have like little skits that happen, or they're like little sub levels, or they're just little funny things that you can do. And I teleported one in that was a movie theater, and it said they were playing a human movie because it takes place in space, right? So I was all excited. I went in, and when you go in, they have like you can interact with the seat, and there's 3 aliens sitting in the row in front of you, and you sit in the seat, and you can literally sit and watch the entire movie Demon Wind in the theater, in the game, because it plays on the screen. And the 3 aliens in front give color commentary, and they're voiced by Jay, Mike, and Rich from Red Letter Media.
Oh, wow.
Which, I fucking love Red Letter Media. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels. So that was just like,
are they the ones that watch
God.
like the 4 movies and then they talk about
best of the worst,
their favorite?
Yeah, that's them. So yeah, they were doing the commentary throughout the whole movie and making jokes and making fun of it and everything. It was really, really fun. I ended up sitting and watching the entire thing.
Oh wow. I never even heard of that movie.
It was awful. It was awful. Okay. Wheel segment in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wowie Kaplowy?
Wowie Kaplowy? That's new. I kind of like it though.
Well, Wowie Kaplowy!
Wait,
So yeah, that's going to be okay.